Hey guys, today we're talking about decimal place value. So here we have the number 13 and 298 thousandths. We read this number with the decimal point, we say and. When you see a decimal, you say and. So we have 13 and 298 thousandths. Decimal place value goes in this order: tenths, hundredths, then thousandths. In the tenths place, we have a 2. This means that we have 2 out of 10 from the whole. This is 2 out of 10 equal parts. In the hundredths place, we have 9. This means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hundredths. 9 out of 100 equal parts. Then we have an 8 in the thousandths place. This means it's 8 out of 1,000 equal parts. So again, before we move on, remember that the first place from the decimal over is the tenths place. The next place over is the hundredths place. The third place over is the thousandths place. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Everything on the right side of the decimal ends in TH. So we know that anything that is on the left side of the decimal is a whole. Anything on the right side of the decimal is a part. It is not a whole of something. It is a part of something. So this number, we have 5 wholes and 376 thousandths. The 3 is in the tenths place, the 7 is in the hundredths place, the 6 is in the thousandths place. The 3 is worth 3/10. Let's take a look at this number down below. We have 1 and 256 thousandths. Now this says, what is the place of the underlined digit? Well, we know that if we count over from the right, there's whole, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So the 6 is in the thousandths place. Now it wants to know what the value of the underlined digit is. Well, we would write it out like this. Start with the decimal, and then we need a placeholder in the tenths place and the hundredths place, and then we put a 6 in the thousandths place. We would read this as 6 thousandths. The 6 in this number represents 6 thousandths. The value of it is 6 thousandths. Now let's look at the next number. It is 0 and 425 thousandths. 0 and 425 thousandths. Let's look at the underlined digit. The digit that's underlined is the 4. We know if we count from the decimal over, it goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So the 4 is in the tenths place. Now we need to know what is the value of the 4 in this number. Well, if we write it out, 0, decimal, and then the 4 comes first. This 4, 0 and 4/10 represents 4/10 out of this whole number. As you can see, the last one is almost finished for us. This number is 3 and 100th. 3 and 100th. The underlined digit is in the whole number place, the ones place. So the value of it is 3 wholes. So it is in the ones place. Finish the last one on your own. So while we're talking about the value of digits, let's go ahead and take a look at these two numbers. Let's start at the top. This number is 5,409 and 367 thousandths. 5,409 and 367 thousandths. What is the value of the 5? Well, the 5 is in the, let's start with the decimal, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands place. So the value of the 5 is 5,000. Also, you can see if you line these two numbers up, 5, 5, and then I have a 0 for each number. What is the value of the 3? Well, here's our decimal. There's our 3. The 3 is in the tenths place. We would write the value of the 3 as decimal 3/10. The 3 is worth 3/10. The next question is, what is the value of the 0? Well, 0 is nothing. Value of 0 is always 0 no matter where it is in the number. What is the value of the 7? Well, if we take a look at this number, here's our decimal point. The 7 is in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. The 7 is in the thousandths place. So we would write it like this. 0, decimal, tenths, hundredths, and a 7 in the thousandths place. The value of the 7 is 7 thousandths. Now that's not the same as 5,000. 1,000 ends in a D. Everything on this side of the decimal ends in TH, thousandths. The last question for this number is, what is the value of the 6? Well, let's find our decimal. We go tenths, hundredths. The 6 is in the hundredths place. So we would write it like this. 0, decimal, 0 in the tenths place, and a 6 in the hundredths place. The value of the 6 is 6 hundredths. Moving on to the next number, this number is 35,174 and 206 thousandths. The first question is, what is the value of the 1? Well, here's our decimal, and we're going to the left, so we know we're in the whole side of the number, so it's ones, tens, hundreds. The 1 is in the hundreds place, so it would be 100. Now it asks, what is the value of the 6? Let's take a look at our decimal. Then it goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths. The 6 is in the thousandths place. So we would write it as 0 and 6 thousandths. We have a 0 in the tenths and the hundredths place because there's nothing there. We're only talking about the 6. The value of the 6 is 6 thousandths. Answer the last 3 questions on a sheet of paper. Pause the video and answer them independently. So let's take a look at this. In this picture we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flats. However, the 6th one is not shaded all the way in. It is part of a whole. So really, we only have 5 full flats. Each flat is broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rods. So this one has 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So we have 5 holes. This flat only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 shaded. this would be the same as 6/10. So if we were to use these models to write out this number in standard form, we would have 5 and 6/10, because this flat is not part of the whole. It doesn't have all 10. It only has 6 out of 10, which would be written as 6/10. So our number here is 5 and, for our decimal, 6/10. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flats broken into hundredths. If we counted every single square inside one of these flats, we would have 100 squares. But as you can tell, this flat right here is not complete as a whole. It only has part of it shaded. These squares are not shaded. So let's count and see how many there are shaded. These can be considered rods of 10. So this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. So this flat has 89 out of 100, which would be the same as 89 hundredths. Let me make that a little neater. (89 hundredths). So if I wanted to write this whole model here as one number, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes, 8 whole flats, and 89 hundredths. The number represented by these flats is 8 and 89 hundredths. Let's take a look at these questions. The first one says, what digit is in the tenths place of this number? So let's look at the number. It's 24 and 816 thousandths. Well, we know if we start at the decimal and we move to the right, it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So if we move from the decimal to the right, the 8 is in the tenths place. So the answer would be D. Now let's look at the next question. How is 2 and 32 hundredths written in words? Well, we know we read this number as 2 and 32 hundredths. So A is 232. That would be written as 232. Wrong. 2 and 32 tenths. 2 and 32 tenths? Well, that's not right because this would be 32 hundredths. Wrong. C, 2 and 32 hundredths. That looks like what we have above. Now let's check D to be sure. 2 and 32 thousandths. Well, we know if we have 2 and 32 thousandths, the 2 would have to be in the thousandths place, which means we need a 0 placeholder. So that would look like this number, which does not match this one. Can't be D. Our answer is C. Let's look at the next question. Write each number, 72 and 13 thousandths. Well, 72 and 13 thousandths. So if we start at the thousandths place, we need a 3, 1 for 13, 0. 72 and 13 thousandths. Try the last one on your own. Write 106 and 409 thousandths in standard form on your sheet of paper. Pause the video and do it independently.